Mylapore or Thirumailai is one of the oldest areas of Chennai and has a unique ambience. It was earlier known as Mylapore or Mailarpil, the place that's surrounded with the sound of peacocks. Today there are no peacocks there and it's a busy area with teeming crowds and milling shops. The Kapaleeshwarar Temple, built on an expanse of 33 grounds, is the most striking feature with its commanding tower on the eastern side. This 40-meter high Rajagopuram draws the attention of everybody in the area. Another entrance on the western side opposite the tank takes you straight to the main deity Kapaleeshwarar. Places like Mylapore trace their origins to shrines located in the midst, all of which have lived to tell the tale. These have been immortalized in ancient Tamil verse, which tells us about their past glory. Our quest to find games in the Kapaleeshwarar temple is an interesting one. When we visited the temple in 2009, it was a treasure trove of games. Games were clear, well cut, and we found numerous versions of games, including a square dice game on a 5x5 board. Several boards of Aadapuliyaattam or the tiger and goat game, and two separate boards of a unique version of Aadapuliyaattam known more popularly in northern Karnataka. This is a circle intersected by a symmetric cross and is an unusual game in these parts. It is interesting that two such boards were found in the temple, probably indicative of workmen who had come here in larger communities, trying hard to recreate some feeling of home. Another game which is a rarity is the game of Kattam Viliyattu, which is a 4 in a row game. This board is again a rare one and not found everywhere. Yet another game board found there was a game of Nakshatra Viliyattu or the star game. Deeply cut into the granite floor with clear, precise lines, many of these games were clearly indicative of specialized tools and trained craftsmen. A few faint boards were found, which had perhaps been eroded over the period of time. Among them was the game of Vettai, a battlefield game found with both 4 triangular extensions as well as 2 triangular extensions. A very faint etching of Dayakattam, the popular dice game played on a board with symmetric cross, was found in the temple too. This treasure trove of games was truly special, and we are glad to have documented them because our later visit in 2020 showed us that very few of these game boards remained. The first game board we saw was right outside the Murugan Sannidhi near a pillar. It is an Aadapuliyaattam but beautifully executed, with the bisecting parallels drawn in a curved form. The precise nature of the etching leaves us in no doubt that this was an artist. Not far away from this board, on a stone slab of pink granite, which was obviously placed there during the renovations to the temple, is a faint engraving of a star. Dusting kolam powder or rice flour on it, we were able to identify the 5-pointed star, which is a board for the Nakshatra Viliyattu or Panchakoni. Sadly, even in the few years since we documented this, the passage of feet and time has worn down this board. Outside the Kapaleeshwarar Sannidhi is another faint board of Aadapuliyaattam. What is interesting is a slightly raised platform with a 5x5 layout of stone slabs. What is the purpose of this? We have no way of knowing. Was it a design element? What is interesting is that the 5x5 stone slab is a common board used to play games. Did the board inspire the design? Or did the design inspire the board? Or was it just a coincidence that the pattern was laid out there? Not far from the slightly raised platform is a very faint engraving of this same board. 2 more such faint engravings are visible around the temple. 2 more clear and well inscribed Aadapuliyaattam boards were found, one outside the Vinayagar Sannadhi and another on the outside step of the western entrance to the temple. This too is well cut and clearly defined. What caught my eye is an incomplete flower design. It looks like a random design, however, this incomplete flower has been a repetitive element during much of our documentation in temples and monuments. It makes us wonder whether it is perhaps a board game. Designs such as these are used in board games both in Africa under the name Sishima and as far away as New Zealand, where it is played by the Maoris with the name Mu Torori. Could this be a game? We may never know the answer. Another interesting puzzle was two inscriptions of six pointed stars on the inner side of the western entrance to the temple. Again, the common star on which games are played is a five pointed one. Are these design elements or a game board? We leave the temple with more puzzles than ever before. What happened to the games that were lost? We will continue to carry them in our memories and in our documentation. This visit and quest reminded us even more about how important it is to document the game boards in temples and monuments, for they give us some insight into who we were and where we come from.